Carolann Perry enjoys an active lifestyle that takes her all across the state of Florida.
I tried real estate that I absolutely loved, enjoyed that career for about 15 years. And now I am a temporary paralegal back in St. Augustine, assisting an attorney that I've known for years. I enjoy time with my husband and all the activities that we do together with our two boys, Coda and Rudy, who are a Maltese and a Dachshund. So that's our family here in Spring Hill.
For many patients like Carolann, spine issues become apparent slowly over time.
I started experiencing discomfort decades ago. It was on and off sciatica, where you'd have the pain and I described it as running down my leg and burning out my ankle. There were times I might have a backache or two, but I just, I kept going, didn't go to a doctor or anything, and it progressively got worse. So for several years I went to a chiropractor. Every time I get to where I couldn't, bend over and loosen myself up from the sciatic pain, then I would go to him. But in hindsight now, I kind of wish I never did, because I really kind of think all that manipulation might have led to my ultimate diagnosis, which was 2 bulging discs, a herniated disc, spinal stenosis, and sciatica. And having been a realtor at that time, I was on my feet and active and, all over the place at the beach in St. Augustine. I sold ranches and, walked 60-something acres with a buyer. But you compensate, when you're going through difficulties. And sometimes in compensating, you kind of forget your life. And then, then sometimes you realize, you think back what you used to be able to do. And then it's a battle, it's a mental battle. It's it's psychologically depressing.
She had been quietly suffering and was ready to find relief. Unexpectedly, an old friend reached out to Carolann, who happened to tell her about the Bonati Spine Institute.
I had a girlfriend give me a call. I hadn't talked to her in about a year, and she was a former nurse. And out of the blue, Judy called and said, "Hey, girl, what's up?" And I'm saying, "No, I'm doing this and that and whatever." And I told her about my back issues. And she had gone to Bonati Spine Institute, and they had done wonders for her. I had known Judy since the 90s, and as I said, she was a former nurse, so of course I valued her opinion. And so I decided to give Bonati a call, and she gave me their number, and I did. And they asked me if I had an MRI, and I said I have it, and I had, both the disc and the printout, and they said, "Well, can you scan and email us the printout?" And I said, "Sure." So I did. And within about 3 hours, Dr. Grossmith called me on the phone. And so he talked to me. He had already reviewed my MRI and said they definitely felt that they could, that they could help me. And so I was scheduled, to go spend a week in Hudson, Florida, where they are located. And that was the beginning of getting my life back.
After speaking to her surgeon on the phone about her case, Carolann scheduled a week-long visit to the Institute. Her visit started with an educational one-on-one consultation.
Walking into Bonati Spine Institute is unbelievable. It's as if they roll out a red carpet. You walk in and you meet Paul, who is the nicest man and greets you as if he's already met you before and is your very good friend. Initially, there was a nurse who they have the spine model, and she comes in and you get educated. It's like 30 minutes of education on your discs, and the pads or whatever in between, and explains and shows you where your problem, is showing up on your MRI. And then you meet with your doctor, who, in my case, any of the doctors there, but he was wonderful and, was truly interested in me. And, it wasn't like his mind was a million miles away somewhere else. He wasn't having to review the records again. He had already educated himself on my, my test results, and and my MRI results, and what he needed to do. And then he just explained what the bulging discs were and what the procedure was, showed me diagrams on what they planned to do. They needed to do to take care of my issues in 2 surgeries, and this was on Monday. And so he said Tuesday they would go in and do one section of my back, and then Wednesday would be post-op, and then Thursday they would do the other section, and Friday would be post-op, and they anticipated I'd be going home Saturday.
Spine surgery doesn't have to be scary. At Bonati, time is taken to keep patients informed and answer any questions they may have.
Well, on the first surgery day, my then best friend, now husband, was with me, and so you go into this little room and you have to change into the paper clothes, and then the anesthesiologist comes in, and talks to you about, the kind of anesthesia, and explains that if you want to, you can watch on their TV and watch the whole procedure being done. We went into surgery, and I recall being woken up and asked if I was feeling any pain at a certain area, and I wasn't. And then the next thing I recalled is in the recovery room. I remember that evening going back to the hotel room, and it was like I'm waiting for, when's it going to come back? And it didn't. And I think that they gave me a prescription for pain medication that I didn't have to take.
It's been 4 years since Carolann's procedures, and she's still doing great.
I've had no issues since. And to think that I was completely disabled. I felt so confident there, and me being the scaredy cat that I am, I couldn't recommend it enough, to somebody else who needs, has those issues with their back and going to Bonati Spine Institute. And I've been to Mayo Clinic, and, and that's you go here and here and here and here, and you end up, at a place at the end of the day. But Bonati it's like rolling out the red carpet, and it's people who really, really care about what they do. You just can't find a better place. I mean, it's the gold standard of medical care.